Dear white people, we don't need you to explain the past. We already know. What we need deeply, truly, is your willingness to sit with our stories without flinching, without defending. To hold space for our grief without rushing to say, but that is not that bad now, or we all suffer, or worse, you should be grateful for what colonization brought. Grateful for the languages that replaced our own, for borders drawn by strangers in Berlin without a single African at the table, for Christianity and capitalism forced upon us like saviors when we already had our own spiritual system and economies. That is not gratitude. That is gaslighting.
I'm a king. Yes.
Hello. Welcome to another edition of the African Narrative Podcast. My name is Femi Shuewu. Today, I'm here not to entertain. I'm here not to sugarcoat or to over-explain. I'm here to read a letter that speaks directly, honestly, from the heart, as an African, to white people across the world. This is not a rant. It is not a guilt trip. It is a letter of pain, of remembrance, of deep yearning, most of all, a letter of hope. If you are new to Africa Web TV, this will be the time to subscribe to the channel and the podcast. You might also wish to join the channel as a member. Joining the channel as a member gives you extra benefits like exclusive behind-the-scenes footage and early access to some of our future releases. So, dear white people, let's talk. When we, as Africans, talk about our pain, the centuries of loss, the degradation, the theft of land, dignity, history, culture, names, and identity, we are not attacking you. We are healing. We are reaching into our past, not to throw stones, but to pick up the pieces of our shattered story. Too often, when we speak of colonization, of slavery, of the pillaging of our land and people, the room shifts, eyes narrow, defenses rise. The phrases come quickly, but that was in the past. We didn't do it personally. Not all white people are ... We know. We know you weren't there in chains or holding the whip. But we are not speaking to your individual guilt. We are speaking to our collective trauma, one that was enforced by centuries of racialized power and profit, one whose ripples still touch every part of who we are today. When I say Africa is bleeding, I don't mean just the wars, the poverty. I mean the soul of a people that has been mocked, misunderstood, and marginalized even after the so-called independence. We speak so we can breathe. We speak so our children will know their pain is not madness but memory. When we speak of our pain, we are not asking for pity or for you to feel guilty. We are asking for something much simpler: acknowledgement. We are asking you to see us. See the legacy of what happened. See the trauma that continues to shape our present. Acknowledge the role that your ancestors played in shaping the world we live in today. We are not asking you to carry the weight of that past. We are asking for your recognition. We are asking for a chance to heal, to move forward, and to reclaim what was stolen from us. Because without acknowledgement, healing is impossible. Without recognition, reconciliation is impossible. Dear white people, the examples are etched in our bones. They are not just vague history, but names and places, things written in blood and silence in textbooks that never made it to your classrooms. The Congo. King Leopold of Belgium turned that land into a personal death camp. 10 million Africans, 10 million perished for rubber, for ivory, for mineral resources, for profit that built European palaces while Congolese hands were cut off for not meeting quotas. Children starved while Europe grew rich, bringing Congo's children to be displayed in zoos. Belgium became a tidy modern country, but the Congo, it is still bleeding. Namibia. The Germans never liked to talk about this, but they should. In the early 1900s, Germany unleashed its wrath on the Herero and the Nama people, the first genocide of the 20th century, before the Holocaust. Hundreds of thousands were slaughtered. Those who weren't killed were pushed into the desert to die of thirst. Women were raped. Men were used for medical experiments. And this wasn't centuries ago. This was the same empire that later spawned the Nazi regime. Germany only recently admitted to it, and even then, reparations were carefully worded to avoid real accountability. And Ghana, the Gold Coast. The name says everything. Gold, taken, shipped, melted into crowns and coins, while its people were ruled, suppressed, and civilized by British law. The mighty Ashanti Empire, rich in art, culture, governance, dismantled not because it was weak, but because it dared to stand proud. Then there is South Africa. Apartheid didn't end in ancient times. It ended in 1994, a system built deliberately to elevate whites economically and socially at the expense of black South Africans. Entire generations denied of land, education, and a voice. Today, land ownership is still mostly white. The trauma of apartheid didn't end with Mandela walking free. It is inherited like a name, felt in every township, in every underfunded school. And let's not forget the African leaders, the ones who dared to dream of sovereignty, dignity, self-rule. They were punished for it. Patrice Lumumba, Congo's first democratically elected prime minister, was murdered with Western backing for being too bold, too Pan-African, too anti-colonial. His body was dissolved in acid. The only thing left was a tooth, which Belgium kept like a trophy until recently. Thomas Sankara, a leader who rejected IMF debt, who empowered women, who wanted Burkina Faso to rise on its own terms, gunned down in a coup. His death was cheered by those who feared a free-thinking Africa. Samora Machel in Mozambique, Amilcar Cabral in Guinea-Bissau, Steve Biko in South Africa. Leaders not killed in war but silenced because their ideas were too dangerous to the colonial status quo. Even now, in the 21st century, France continues to collect colonial taxes from 14 of its former African countries. Yes, colonial taxes paid by independent nations to a former empire as compensation for benefits of colonialization. Just think about that. And France is just the one that has been caught out in the open. We know how European powers operated in the past and even today. If France is still collecting colonial taxes from its former colonies, one can be certain Britain, Portugal, Spain, and so on are still doing the same. The only difference being that they have hidden the evidence better than the French. After all, during the transatlantic slave trafficking, and subsequent colonization, all these European countries follow the same template. This is not ancient history, nor is it folklore. This is yesterday's shadow stretching into today, stretching into today's bloodstream. And it lives in every conversation we have about what Africa is and what it could have been if it had been left to dream, to lead, to grow uninterrupted. Dear white people, we don't need you to explain the past. We already know. What we need deeply, truly, is your willingness to sit with our stories without flinching, without defending, to hold space for our grief without rushing to say, but that is not that bad now, or we all suffer, or worse, you should be grateful for what colonization brought. Grateful for the languages that replaced our own, for borders drawn by strangers in Berlin without a single African at the table, for Christianity and capitalism forced upon us like saviors when we already had our own spiritual system and economies. That is not gratitude. That is gaslighting. When we raise our voices, it is not to tear down. It is to reclaim. Yet, time and again, we are met with white-splaining. The idea that white people somehow know better how we should feel about our own history, our own culture, even our own trauma. That's not being an ally or being empathic. That is control in a new costume. Just because these stories and happenings never made it to your textbooks and classrooms does not make them less true. Children and grandchildren of those who have been at the receiving end of the injustices and brutality deserve to express their pain without you adding salt to injury by mocking them. Maybe you could become an ally by demanding the true, full, and whole story of slavery and colonization be taught in school. But don't tell us our story are not true because you have never been taught about it. We are telling you now. Just listen and not attack us for feeling blue. Dear white people, yes, we are angry. But anger is not hatred. Anger is love unhealed. It's grief unprocessed. It is the scream of our ancestors buried beneath sugarcane fields and railroads, cotton plantations, and gold mines. We want reconciliation. We want to walk side by side with you, but not by pretending nothing happened. We want a world where African excellence is celebrated with the same breathless awe as European genius, where our stories are not always about poverty and war, but also about innovation, joy, philosophy, beauty, because we have all of that and more, where African customs aren't exoticized or laughed at, but respected, whether it's how we marry, how we bury, how we eat, how we live, how we believe, how we talk, or how we heal. Iron production is a cornerstone of modern industry, used in everything from construction to transportation. Did you know, however, that the technique developed by African civilizations, such as those by the Nok culture, Nigeria, and the Haya people, Tanzania, laid the foundation for modern metallurgy? Iron working techniques from Africa influenced the development of iron production methods worldwide. Dear white people, one of the most glaring contradictions of the modern world is how you continue to take Africa's resources at rock bottom prices while simultaneously berating the continent for being poor and underdeveloped. Africa's vast natural resources are extracted and sold for a fraction of their true value. On the other hand, many African nations are paying significantly higher interest rates on loans than Western countries. For instance, in 2020, France, Germany, UK could borrow funds at near zero interest rates, while African nations like Ghana, Zambia, Kenya were paying interest rates that were up to 10 times higher than those of Western countries. This means that while Western countries pay pennies to borrow money, African nations are burdened with crippling debt that makes it harder for them to invest in their own people, infrastructure, or development. This disparity is not just a financial issue, it's a moral issue. How can it be that the very nations that have benefited from centuries of exploitations of African resources are now charging exorbitant rates for loans to African countries trying to pull themselves out of poverty? How is it possible that you, with your history of colonization and resource extraction from Africa, continue to financially disadvantage the very nations whose wealth has fueled your prosperity? The same system that has kept Africa in poverty for generations is now keeping it in debt with no hope of breaking free. Meanwhile, your wealth continues to grow while Africa's potential is stifled by the burden of debt, high interest rates, and continued exploitations. It is this system of financial colonialism that is setting the stage for future generations of Africans to continue living in poverty while your wealth grows. The generations to come, the children of Africa, will still be told they are poor, they are underdeveloped, just as Africans are often viewed today. But the seeds of this equality were sown a long time ago. The system must change. We are not asking you for charity. We are asking for fairness. We are demanding that the financial systems that perpetuate inequality be reformed. The lending market must be adjusted to reflect the needs of African nations with fairer interest rates and debt relief that allows them to invest in their people and their future, not just to service crippling debt. We need an honest and equitable relationship based on mutual respect, one where African resources are used to uplift its people, not to line the pockets of foreign corporations and governments. We must stop this cycle of exploitation, stop the cycle of debt, and start a new chapter based on justice, equity, and true partnership. Dear white people, you tell us never to forget the Holocaust, and rightly so. That was one of the darkest moments in human history. It should always be remembered. Always. But then you turn around and say to Africa, get over slavery, move on from colonization. Why? Is our pain less sacred? Is 400 years of forced labor, family separation, mutilation, rape, and cultural erasure less horrifying because it happened in plantation and not in gas chambers and not to people who do not look like you? Is the scrabble of Africa, which left millions dead and millions more in poverty, not a tragedy because it came dressed in suits and treaties instead of boots and bombs? Memory is not revenge. Memory is medicine when it is allowed to breathe. In conclusion, here is the invitation, dear white people. Don't rush us through our healing. Don't silence us with defensiveness. Don't tell us how to feel. Instead, walk beside us. Acknowledge, learn, reflect. Teach your children about the whole story, not just the parts that make Europe and the USA look noble. Support African businesses. Celebrate African art without appropriating it. Give space in global conversations for African voices, not just African tragedies. In the time I've been talking to you, many of you would have made thousands of bank transfers using your mobile telephones. M-Pesa, Google it. The mobile phone gadget might have been invented by you, but the system of transferring money from one cell phone to the other was invented in Kenya. You don't know that because Africa's achievements are always minimalized and brushed under the carpet. Ultimately, we don't want division. We want dignity. We don't want revenge. We want restoration. We want to arrive on the other side where our children, yours and mine, can sit at the same table, proud of their histories, respectful of each other's roots, building a future that is whole, where we are no longer fighting to be seen as equals, but simply are. My dear white people, this letter isn't perfect, but it is honest. And if you have made it this far, thank you for listening, for sitting with the discomfort, for trying. Because healing is not a moment, it's a journey. And Africa is walking. Still wounded, but still walking. Will you walk with us? Until the next time, stay open, stay human. Yours sincerely, Femi Shuewu. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and the podcast. Share, comment, and like. You might also wish to join the channel as a member. Joining the channel as a member gives you extra benefits like exclusive behind-the-scenes footage and early access to some of our future releases. Thank you, and be kind to the world.
I'm a king, yes, I'm a king. I'm a king.